Coming up right now, this one is straight from the stupid criminal files. Why a suspect forced to call 911.
Also coming up, the latest beauty trend making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
A little bit later on, the surprising life lesson one family learns after their move to the country.
Ooh, boy. Country boy, city boy.
We'll see.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Well, hey there, everybody. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English. Kids, this is Daily Flash. You got it. You got it. We are so glad to have you here. Sweet baby James working the floor. He's working stage 2. How are you there? What are you doing right now?
Is that the champagne room?
I think it is.
See, I'm not live this time, so you don't.
He's basically making it rain on Venmo. Is what he's doing.
There you go.
To my right is the one and only uncomparable Matt Doolittle. How are you, Matt?
Making it rain on his Venmo via his cheap old phone.
Change at him, man.
Flip
Change.
phone. You know, you can see what he's actually putting together on there on our website at dailyflashshow.com, because there you can get the links to all of our social stuff, and you can send your Venmo password to James and Flash at dailyflashshow.com.
I take cash.
All right. There's all of our social media stuff. We want to hear from you. Also want you to sound off by going to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Reminds me of the scene out of White Lotus this season where the Russian guy is telling the gal, I need help. I need money for my mother. Or, I take Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, you can sell.
I'll send you photos of my feet.
Oh, can I say something? Zelle is going away, my understanding.
No, don't say
there's
it.
some regulation to check
No.
out. But we'll talk about that some
Oh,
other
I
time.
like
So,
the Zelle.
yeah.
I
Am I going to send my mom a rent?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. I love the Chick-fil-A. You guys like the Chick-fil-A?
Love me
Love
some
the
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
You know when I'm hungry for Chick-fil-A?
On
What day of the
Sundays.
week? Sundays. Every time. I still get some Chick-fil-A.
I still say somebody should just open up a shack, buy a bunch of Chick-fil-A the day before, and they make
That's a
millions.
great
fries.
idea. So check this out. A guy in Rhode Island lost 132 pounds by eating Chick-fil-A for a year.
Okay.
He topped 360 pounds at his heaviest website. He's so far lost 132 pounds. Here's what he had every day for a year: the Chick-fil-A Southwest chicken salad, grilled chicken. And he said that even when it was closed on Sundays, he would go and stock up on a Saturday so he'd have enough salads to get him through the next week.
Now, do you think, after what happened with Jared from Subway,
Well.
if Chick-fil-A will go, this will be great for advertising?
I know, that was really...
It's
Creepy.
really
Yeah.
bad.
Then come to
really
find
bad.
out the meats
Yeah.
and stuff weren't exactly what they were saying, and the tuna was
Things just keep on falling.
9,000
Yeah.
calories.
Yeah.
Also, the whole thing with the kids.
All that happened
Yeah,
too.
all that too. But I feel like it sort of encouraged people to think about maybe having the same meal every day to get healthier and to do better if they needed to lose weight. This is kind of an easy, no-brainer way to do it. You find something you like and you just make it a habit.
And your body knows, all right, well, this
Yeah.
is what I'm getting, and it starts reevaluating everything
lot
that it's going to do.
A lot of weightlifters and stuff do that with Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Because they know they can get it in
yes.
the bowl, and they'll get the double steak, and they can get what they
to
need.
order, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. He said he kind of had a wake-up call when he went to the doctor, got on the scale. The nurse at my new doctor's office, he said, told me I was 346 pounds at the time. And he said, well, and she said, that's good eating. I joked with her, and she said, until it ain't.
And then she goes, my pleasure.
It is some very expensive meal prep. I
If
want
you
to
really
see you do
think-
it.
that's
That's
a
a
good
lot
point.
of money you spend there. You
That had
can
to be
just
a
do
lot,
it yourself
yeah.
at home.
Though, when you compare what you're buying at the grocery store to
Yeah.
what you're buying at Chick-fil-A or Chipotle,
Yeah.
it could be an even
I say
trade-off.
hit on the chick behind the counter so you can get the discount.
I don't know if they
they're
do
usually
that
like
at Chick-fil-A.
16-year-old high school kids.
Hey,
counter
what's
kicked
wrong?
out.
What's wrong with you guys?
You'll get arrested,
Now we're
James.
going in the wrong direction here.
Now you're
okay?
going in the subway direction.
Let's turn it back. Let's turn it back.
I think we should.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and I do appreciate everything. I appreciate Chick-fil-A because they said, all right, we could do something, or we could do something different. And they go, let's do something different, and let's concentrate on our service.
Yes.
And I think that's why a majority of the people will go to Chick-fil-A. I get sick every time I eat Chick-fil-A, but I will still go there because
No,
I
you
know
do
it's
not.
and my stomach, it doesn't work well for my stomach. It's
doesn't.
delicious.
Okay.
I love it.
It's
I
a
want it.
digestion thing, not a food thing.
Oh, right.
Yes.
It's something in my stomach, and I always get sick when I eat it, but I love it, and I would still go there because they have great service and the kids are always nice to me.
Yeah, and the whole thing about them being closed on a Sunday is terrific. And you know who else is going to be closed on Easter Sunday? This was a surprise. Lowe's. Lowe's is closing all of their stores on Easter Sunday to give their employees the day off.
So it's Target.
Recommend
I
it.
was gonna
And
say
Target too?
And if you think about those are that's a big day. A Sunday is a big day for home improvement.
Yeah.
For people going and getting some stuff, some interesting
So there
things.
you go.
Let's jump into some trending stories here. We start with a story, at least, from the Stupid Criminals file. A would-be robber calls 911 when he wounded himself during a break-in. True story, happened in Tyler, Texas. Cops say the suspect called 911 after he cut himself on broken glass during a break-in. It all happened at a local Dodge dealership. The 38-year-old told officers that he threw a rock through the window at the dealership. Then, after he broke in, he wasn't sure actually how to get out. He was taken to a nearby hospital after being arrested for burglary, then taken on to jail. I'm sure he stopped by that one person's desk that keeps candy on the desk to kind of eat it. But hey, how do you not know how to get out? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's the same way you came in is one way, but I guess if you're bleeding out.
Well, if he cut himself on, he
Find
should
the
have
keys.
driven out, right? I guess if he cut himself on the way in and he, didn't. It doesn't sound like he's the sharpest tool in the shed.
I don't think so at all.
And I don't think he's missed a meal.
No. Well, maybe that's why he wanted to go to jail, is to get some.
Trying to
he knows
break-
he'll get three
Hot
hot.
in a gut.
Trying to break into a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday.
Maybe. Dermatologists have issued a new warning for anyone trying the latest beauty trend involving raw eggs, ladies and gentlemen. Experts have sounded the alarm over raw egg white facials. They say there is no evidence they erase fine lines, and the risk may be more than any perceived reward. Experts caution against applying raw eggs to your skin because it could cause an allergic reaction. There's also the possibility of exposure to salmonella and skin irritation. Egg whites are rich in protein and collagen, which benefit your skin when consumed rather than applied directly to your face.
I remember hearing about this back in the 80s, people doing this, but today, you might as well buy the $400
It's
tube
cheaper.
of because it's cheaper for you.
Yes.
And I know when I cook chicken and eggs, if they get on the counter, I freak out, man. I got to wipe it down like 10,000 times, making sure it's all cleaned up. And you're putting egg, which, is, people will tell you, salmonella, obviously, it is not a good idea at all. I know that at one time there was an egg shampoo. It had like beer and eggs in it. It was supposed to make it for which just sounds like something you would eat on a Sunday morning after partying all night.
It's like when Rocky came out, they had to tell people, it's not the best idea every day.
That is true.
He would crack 3 eggs and eat it with orange juice.
Raw, right?
Raw.
Yeah. Well, I will say the price of eggs has gone down dramatically, so maybe it is a little bit more affordable
Let's
now.
hope so. A family swapped their 3-bedroom home for a 19-acre farm with 68,000 chickens to teach their kids about working with their hands.
Oh.
All right, I can appreciate this. Emily and Cole Martin grew up in a farm community, and they've always dreamed of just owning their own farm. The couple's dream came true when they signed the paperwork for an operational farm. The couple said that they have always wanted to raise their children in this kind of environment and plan to teach them the ropes of country life. Emily said that it was very important for both of them to raise their child on a farm to show them that not everything in life comes easy, but it's also something that when you eat food, you don't really necessarily think about where it comes from and what that animal, if it's you're eating animal, of what they ate. But this is a great way, and you hear about so many of our farmers going bankrupt or just say, hey, look, I can't afford to live like this anymore. And it's nice to see it maybe possibly going back the other way. And what a great thing to teach your kids.
Maybe it will make a comeback. I think that's an optimistic way of looking at it. But I do think it teaches kids about, the cycle of life or the circle of life and what happens when something eats something and then you eat that something and here we go. I mean, what's on your dinner plate and how you can appreciate it.
Work ethic as well.
Yes.
Now, I grew up on a fat farm. And so
You did not.
Did they ever have it? Remember they called them fat farms? That's when you went to a place to lose weight. They called them fat farms.
Well, they also called them loony bins.
Loony
too.
bins, yeah, all right.
You go to the fat farm with a loony bin. Are you looking to cruise your way into a longer life? The MV narrative just might steer you in the right direction. The floating luxury community aims to become the world's first blue zone at sea. The cruise ship is taking inspo from the diet, exercise, and lifestyle habits of regions known for longevity. Prices for cabins range from about $1 million to $8 million, with ownership lasting for the lifetime of the vessel. Lifetime of the vessel, in quotes, which the company says might be around 60 years. For a more affordable option, there are limited residents available with 24-year leases on the boat, starting at about $640,000. And the ship is expected to set sail in 2027. It was originally scheduled to embark in 2023.
I think this is going to be like timeshares kind of thing where it
Yes.
sounds like a great idea, and it probably is for 1 year, but
Yeah.
I can't see for the next 24 years of your life. Now, if you had it and you go, hey, you guys want to make a nice vacation? Why don't you take my room at
See,
the...
that would be
That could be the
great.
one.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right, we got more of today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Still to come right here on Daily Flash. Hey, you know what that intro means. It's time for you to get flashed. This is where we actually get questions from you, our viewers, and then we share our reactions.
Yeah, so each one of us will get about 15 seconds to sound off on the story, and we want you at home to be a part of the conversation and share your comments. Okay, here we go.
All right.
One viewer asks us, should I get flashed for telling my wife she can't cook?
Ooh.
I'm scared my wife is going to kill someone with her cooking. Now, this is a quote from him. She undercooks just about everything, especially meat, and no matter how many times I try to tell her, she claims I'm being picky.
Okay.
Okay, the thing is, this person says, I wouldn't care so much if it was just me, but she always wants to cook for our friends. Should I get flashed? Mitch, we'll
All
start
right,
with you.
I'll take this one. You know what you get into when you marry somebody. You should have had dinner with them at least once. All right,
Yes.
so let's just say that. So if you know if the person's healthy, they're going to probably cook differently than you do
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. This sounds like that she's just a horrible cook and the husband is really saying no dice. I would say you have got to say something to him. It's like, hey, you know what? Not everybody likes our palate. You know, it's like, let's work.
That's a
and
good
then just say
approach.
and just give her options. I say,
Yeah.
hey, what's something we could do maybe instead of that famous nasty eggplant parmesan you make? Maybe what's another option we could think of? It's very hard because I know when you cook because it's one thing that you can offer your guests a feeling that, and you're also helping them nourish them as well. So it's a big deal. I can understand why he's concerned about this.
Okay, Maddie?
You know it's undercooked when the eggplant is still barking.
Yeah.
So I think he has to tell her, you can't put that in front of your friends, even at home. I mean, luckily my wife can cook way better than me. I overcook everything. So I think you need to be able to be honest with him and just be subtle with it. Kind of like how he's like, hey, babe, maybe cook it a little more. Or be like, hey, Sally coming over is vegan, so salads? Let's do something like that. I mean, there's got to be a way around it. But yeah, if she's undercooking stuff, that's not going to be good. Or just fake
No.
being sick.
Can I jump in
Yeah,
again?
absolutely.
Is that the way you do it? You go, wow, we have a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
To say something like that, I wonder why.
The dog won't eat it. I don't know what's wrong with
That's
it.
exactly
Yeah.
what happened. Then the feelings get hurt.
When the dog runs away from the table, you know it's bad. Maybe he should just jump in and say, hey, let's cook together. So,
Look, Jackson with the answer.
right?
you go.
So then you take a little bit of responsibility in the kitchen, and maybe it's a chance for you guys to dialogue, have a conversation,
I love
say,
that idea.
hey, I think, we definitely want to make sure we're cooking this all the way through. We don't want anybody to get sick, blah, 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 blah. And it's something the two of you can do together. So,
I love that idea.
all right, up next, one viewer asks, should I get flashed for not making my husband healthy meals? 3 weeks ago, my husband was talking about his diet, and I mentioned that he should have more fiber in it. He asked, how do I get more fiber? And I thought, well, we both have access to Google, but I didn't want to be rude. I told him, I'm your wife, not your mother.
Oh.
Should I get flashed for the way I responded? Mitch.
Okay, well, this kind of goes with what you just said, is have a conversation and basically just talk about it. Just have where you go, hey, what's something that we both like that we can get more of this in it, meaning the fiber and that sort of thing, if that might be the case. So again, I love your suggestion. Just get into the kitchen together and that sort of thing. That way you're both responsibility. And more importantly, go shopping together.
Yes.
And I think that would, because what you bring home is what you're going to make.
Yeah. Maddie?
So, for example, my house, my wife kind of went full vegan, but I told her, I was like, look, if you're gonna make the meals, I need something that still tastes
Yes.
like what I would have gotten. So she, like the other night, she made a vegan chicken marsala. So it made me feel more like I was that. So I think there's a nice common ground there where you just got to be honest with it. And yeah, again, Google it and tell her what you want. Be like, hey, can we do this, and this on a night?
No, you're right. It's just like going to a
don't be
restaurant.
lazy.
Yeah.
order what you want to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense there, Maddie.
My advice is Google divorce. Because that's about what's going to happen to you. I mean,
Or annulment.
can you not just I mean, seriously, your husband sounds like he's reaching out. He wants some help. He wants maybe you to be a part of his weight loss journey or eating better. So I think it sounds to me like he's kind of asking you to be a part of it, and then for you to sort of turn around and say, well, Google it. I'm not your mother. I'm your wife. Whatever. Come on, you're a team.
And dinner is the one Congress that you have every day to get everything together. So why not make it the best for everybody?
Or you could be doing what happened in my house as a kid. Is we were told to make my dad healthy meals after he had heart issues. Well, my mom would cook healthy meals. We would find Burger King wrappers under his truck after work. So yeah. No, I already found the Taco Bell wrapper to fill out of your car.
Yeah, it's all right, Mitch. We all have our vices. We want you to sound off on this. You can leave us a comment on our socials, and if it's good, we're going to talk about it and share it on the show.
All right, well now and then there's this. Check this out. A 5'5" wrestling star celebrating his latest win by embracing his tall, nay, super tall girlfriend. Watch your screen. Lucas Bird recently caught attention of social media after celebrating his championship win with his GF Ellie Holzman. She is 6'3", nearly a foot taller than he is. She is a former college volleyball player. That's neat. They actually, a relationship started after the two met at a bar near the University of Illinois. She was sitting down. They actually comment on his resemblance to Harry Potter. He said he looks kind of like Harry Potter. All right, so what you're looking at is basically my marriage. My wife is taller than me, not as tall, but this does give me a little bit of hope.
She is tall, yes.
Dudley Moore, Susan Anton is what I call my relationship.
Yes,
if you want
that's a good way to describe it.
I love that, which says a lot about, people like people. That's what she might always want to go after shorter dudes. He can wrestle, so I mean, I'd like. Never mind. I'm just not going to. But good for him.
Off the top shelf, can you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you have somebody to get stuff off the top shelf, like I have to do at the house.
Maybe she likes a shorter guy. Could be her thing. For a woman who's very tall, it's tough to find a taller guy to date. So her pool is a lot slimmer than his.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And also, it comes down to he has a lot of confidence, obviously.
Yes.
And, because you have to have that when you walk into a room, because everybody's like, well, you two are together. I don't
Confidence
get it.
can make you 8 feet tall.
10 feet tall and bulletproof, right?
There you go. I like that. Yes.
All right. We have got us more of this today's trends and tomorrow's talk stuff, don't we?
Yes, we do right here on Daily Flash. 10 feet tall and bulletproof,
baby.
Look at that hefty piece of Parmigiano Reggiano. I purchased mine from Costco. It's 2/3 less, $10.99 a pound. At a grocery store, it's going to cost you between $33 to $35 a pound. Whenever we're buying Parmesan cheese, always make sure we never buy it where the husk is here. This is fine because we're getting it at a bargain, but at the grocery store, always purchase this section. What we're looking for is the name, Parmigiano Reggiano. Next thing we're looking for is the back is going to be embossed. And then also the seal. You've got that Parmesan Reggiano, which says it's from Italy. So much cheaper if you buy it at Costco than the grocery store. When it comes to storing it, wrap it in some parchment paper, then some foil, and it'll last several months. I hope that helps save money.
In this week's Boss Lady, we meet a woman who's made it her mission to help kids with special needs by using horse therapy. The Story Exchange charts her incredible success.
Okay, you ready? Take me there. I love how you looked first. For a child with special needs, it's not easy. They need to be in an environment that is accepting of them and that is receptive to their way of learning. Learning how to count, learning how to identify facial expressions.
I'm proud of you for sitting up so tall.
Something as simple as that is not going to be as easily transferable for them as it might be if they're learning it on the scene.
Here we go.
H.E.A.R.T stands for Harden Education and Recreation Therapy Center. It's a good girl, come on. The H.E.A.R.T Center is really about using horses as a modality to encourage individuals with disabilities and special needs to find something that makes them feel empowered and happy and gives them a purpose. I started riding when I turned 9. And in high school, I had come across a therapeutic riding program. I got involved as a volunteer on the weekends. I was able to spend all morning working with the instructors and the kids. And then in the afternoons, we would pack a lunch and we'd go on a trail ride and enjoy riding for fun. I was really missing the horses and the kids. And then I found the recreation therapy program. And as soon as I walked into my advisor's office, I was like, well, I know I'm home. I don't ever have to go anywhere else. This is what I'm meant to be doing. I got to learn a lot about the horse world and the therapy world, coaching and counseling and team building. It was great. I was able to apply practical application to everything that I was learning in school. It was time for me to kind of go out on my own, and I really wanted to see this grow into more of a school type environment that will allow us to run a variety of support programs like occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. The biggest challenge for me was learning the aspects of business structure and growth. I understand and can assist in all of the business aspects, but I know that my strengths lie within the arena. And that's where my focuses are. So right now it's been Bill, my husband, who's been managing the day-to-day aspects of making sure that the lights stay on and that the horses are fed and that everybody's paid. Horses are great for teaching a lot of the basic emotional coping skills. Students are able to try new things with the horses, such as getting their horse to go, whether it's walk or trot or turn or complete a course or a pattern, whatever that might be. They go through a whole series of emotions, and the work that we do to process that then allows them to transfer those emotional skills, such as being able to go into school and feeling what their body feels like when it's frustrated and noticing that my fists clench or I get shivery, and they can then express it to a teacher and say, hey, I need a break, or I might throw this chair.
Like that. Yeah, that makes him happy.
I love how much I learn from all of the students and the people that I interact with, and it just taught me so much about what it means to communicate from the heart and communicate through intention and patience.
4, 5. That was such great talking, Elena. I love hearing your voice. Okay.
It keeps me very fulfilled, and I feel like this is my purpose and this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have James Alexander working the floor, as well as Matt Doolittle will be checking in. But we need everybody at home to check in on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Please.
We are up for a Telly Award.
Woo.
And if
Yes.
you go. Hey, listen, by the way, this is all our social medias that you could check out. But we want you to go to our website, because if you go there, you'll see a little banner at the very top top that says, go here and vote for us. It's for the People's Choice Awards, for the Telly Awards, and it goes by voting from the people. So we need your help and be able to do that. The address where it goes on your screen, but we'll also put a link on our website as well, dailyflashshow.com. And there you can find it, like I said, very top of the page. Put it in there, and you can do this all the way until the 18th of April. So you got a few more days.
Yeah, 4 days.
Four more days left
from today.
So help us out, won't you? Help a show like us. We would love that.
Do we cue the Sarah McLachlan music now?
Please do, because we need it.
Just be outside and brushes, just looking like I haven't eaten in a week.
Exactly.
Be like, please, we need
if you can make Matt feel a little bit better this week by voting for us, we would appreciate it.
That'd be great.
He doesn't need it.
Yes. Okay, we start with a story from the Stupid Criminals file. Here we go. A would-be robber called 911 when he wounded himself during a break-in. Police in Tyler, Texas said the suspect called 911 after he cut himself on some broken glass during a break-in at a local Dodge dealership. The 38-year-old told officers he threw a rock through the window at the dealership to get in. Then after he broke in, he wasn't sure how to get out.
Wow.
He was taken to a nearby hospital before being arrested for burglary and then taken to jail.
I think when people do this, they're actually wanting to get caught.
Is it a cry for help, do you think?
Sometimes I think it is. Somewhat, maybe, and a lot of times, and you know, there's people that look, I just need to get to the jail. What's going to get me there so I can have a place to stay, sleep, and that sort of thing. But he didn't think it out, as you can see in this picture that we have his mugshot of it. Hey, look, they call them stupid criminals for a reason.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody has a bad day, even criminals.
Even they do. So remember that. Love your local criminal, but not too much. Dermatologists, they're out and they're saying, listen, we have a new warning for you. If you're going to try the latest beauty trend involving raw eggs, don't do it.
Hey.
They've actually sounded that alarm over the raw egg white facials. They say that there's no evidence they erase those face lines, and the risk actually may be actually more than the perceived reward. Experts caution that anything against applying raw eggs to your skin because it actually could cause an allergic reaction. There's also that threat of exposure to salmonella. That's what eggs is. And skin irritation. How would you like to be a chicken? Hey, look, I made it. I'm going to be a chicken. No, you're going to wind up on some wrinkly old face.
It can't be good for your eyes either.
That's, you know what happens to it?
You got egg in my eye.
This was actually big. I remember back in the 80s. And so you put it on and it cakes up.
Yeah.
And you kind of can peel it off.
And it gets real tight.
And it's supposed to push everything together. It doesn't work, folks. But if you want to try it, you're an idiot, but go ahead and try it. Egg whites are obviously rich in protein and collagen. That's where they say is going to benefit your skin, not necessarily always the kids.
And who's Sal?
Sal Minnelli. He comes with every facial.
What's her Instagram? I need to know her.
No, you know. James, you can't hit on every.
It looks like it's working. She's
beautiful.
Hey, you're right.
Yes, she is.
She is, and she doesn't need those facials.
I may be able to help her out, though.
No, bad.
All right, let's move on. Check this story out, you guys. A family swapped their 3-bedroom home for a 19-acre farm and 68,000 chickens to teach their kids about working with their hands. Okay. James, maybe you need a weekend at the farm. Emily and Cole Martin grew up in a farm community, always dreamed of owning their own farm. Couple's dream came true when they signed the paperwork for an operational farm. The couple say they have always wanted to raise their children in this kind of environment and plan to teach them the ropes of country life. Emily said it was important for them to raise their children on a farm to show them that not everything in life comes easy. And I think it's a great teaching tool when it comes to discipline, being on a schedule, chores, taking care of things. It's really a great educational tool.
You don't do your work, people don't eat in your house. It's that when you're on a farm.
That is true.
And I got to tell you, it is hard work. I remember I had a friend that they had a dairy farm. And before school every day, I mean, he had been up hours before I even got up working.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to talk about relationships and more. We're going to head to the farm.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Time now for a little relationship refresh. Our next guest knows a thing or two when it comes to love. She is here to tell us why strong, ambitious women struggle in love and how they can fix it. Please welcome love and relationship expert Odette Coronel. Odette, welcome back to Daily Flash.
Hi, Andrea. Thanks for having me back.
So let's talk about successful women and their struggles when it comes to finding love. What's really going on here?
Yeah, and it's not because they're not worthy of it. One big reason is that they often choose partners who aren't truly aligned with them. Maybe they're picking based on chemistry rather than compatibility, or maybe they're drawn to someone who doesn't fully support their ambitions or feels a little bit intimidated by them. And, they also have really high standards, which is great, but sometimes those standards become rigid and unrealistic, which makes it difficult for any partner to measure up. And also, these women are used to calling the shots and making decisions, but a relationship requires interdependence where both partners contribute, they rely on each other, but this can feel a little bit uncomfortable for some reason. And then there's the energy dynamics. Many successful women operate in their masculine energy at work. They're leading, they're achieving, they're making things happen. But in romantic relationships, they might struggle to then shift to a more receptive feminine energy, which is what's really needed in order to have polarity and attraction and to create that space for intimacy, connection, and partnership. And then on top of all of this, a lot of successful women have spent so much time building their careers that they haven't really built their relationship skills. So things like communication, vulnerability, repairing after conflict, these things require practice, just like any other skill.
What I'm hearing from you, Odette, is ways to show up in a relationship from a different perspective. So what are some practical ways to balance ambition and nurture healthier relationships?
Yeah, that's a great question. And ambition and love don't have to compete. They can complement each other. And just like you would schedule an important meeting, make intentional time for your relationship. And that means, put down the phone, step away from work mode, and be fully present and enjoy those moments of connection and playfulness and affection. And, high achieving women, they're used to leading and taking charge. But remember that love is not about control, it's about partnership. So allow yourself to receive, whether that's help or affection or support, and without feeling like you have to earn it. And remember to communicate with openness. In business, we have to communicate being direct and solution oriented, but relationships require vulnerability and sharing feelings. And sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it. And, if you find yourself resisting closeness or feeling like you always have to be strong, ask yourself, what am I afraid is going to happen if I let down my guard? And then the other thing to remember is, reconnect with your feminine energy. And this is not about being less powerful, it's about embracing all parts of yourself. Feminine energy is really about flow and creativity and emotional connection. So simple things like dancing, spending time in nature, or even wearing something that makes you feel soft and beautiful can really help you access this energy.
I think those are great points, Odette. And when it comes to maybe choosing a partner, maybe seeking someone outside of your career circle might be beneficial. Just a few seconds left here. Any other advice you can mention for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Be open. And, basically, when strong, successful women, they recognize their patterns, they do the inner work, maybe work with a relationship coach, such as myself, then they can stop repeating the same relationship mistakes and start building the kind of love that they truly want and deserve.
And if viewers want to reach out, where can they find you, Odette?
OdetteCoronel.com is my website, or they can follow me on Instagram at Odette Coronel Coaching.
Odette, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be sure to post this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Stay with us. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. We are hopping into the Easter season by celebrating the ultimate Easter basket. And joining us today is Andrea. She is a Lindt Master Chocolatier, and she's here to help us take our Easter celebration to the next level. And welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So what are some tips to creating the ultimate Easter basket?
Well, I'm so glad you asked because, as a master chocolatier, this is my thing. So for me, I like to customize things for the recipient. So I love to make a hostess basket. It's one of my very favorite things to do. So of course I incorporate premium chocolate, but then I think, well, what do they like? So say the person is a lover of wine, I'll always try to add a bottle of wine or a premium coffee or tea to really make it something just special for them. Also, the same goes for any kids in your life. I always love to put a few toys in there. We have this great sidewalk chalk that when I saw that, it took me way back to when I was a kid. Love it.
So what are some of your other favorite things that you like to do with chocolate around Easter? I mean, you are a master, so we'd love to get your take on it.
I am. One of my favorite things that I love to do is a bunny board. So it is just this beautiful selection of chocolate. Of course, Lenko Bunny is going to be the star. But then I love to layer in cookies, macaron, fresh fruit, Lindor truffles, because there's so many different flavors. You can really just speak to everybody's different tastes.
So, Anne, where can we go for more information?
Well, for more information, please visit us at lintusa.com.
Awesome, Anne. Thank you so much. We'll make sure to share all of this information on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Hey, never serve a dull or unappetizing salad again. Here's more.
Salads can get a bad rap for being bland or boring, but they don't have to be. Registered dietitian Amy Goodson has more.
Every salad presents a new opportunity to express yourself by blending ingredients, flavors, and textures. The key to creating a beautiful salad is all about making it a vibrant part of your meal.
Salad kits from Fresh Express are an easy way to step up a traditional salad, balancing healthy, high-quality ingredients with culinary creativity.
One of my favorite salad recipes is the red, white, and blueberry spinach salad. It's quick, easy, and a showstopper for springtime. Arrange Fresh Express baby spinach on a large platter. Next, top with rows of raspberries, cheddar cheese, and blueberries. Then sprinkle with walnuts. When ready to serve, drizzle with poppy seed dressing and toss to coat.
Fresh Express is also launching the Express Yourself Recipe Contest, designed to inspire culinary creativity. Learn more at freshexpress.com/expressyourselfrecipecontest 2025 for your chance to win a year's worth of free salad.
And now we've got a great idea for a family getaway. Check this out.
Looking for a family adventure this spring and summer? Explore Western Massachusetts, where sports meets unforgettable family fun. This summer, register your family for Hooplandia, the ultimate 3-on-3 tournament for all ages and skill levels in the birthplace of basketball. Or bike, swim, and run your way through Western Mass during the annual Ironman Half Triathlon. Beyond sports, explore amazing museums, outdoor adventures, and rich Hispanic culture. Plan your family's adventure at explorewesternmass.com.
If you still need to file your tax return, here's some last-minute advice from the experts.
The countdown is on. Taxes are due by midnight tonight. Mark Stieber, Chief Tax Officer of Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, has more.
As millions of procrastinators race to get their taxes done on time, there are important steps they should take to file an accurate tax return. Rushing can lead to mistakes that can be costly or require an amended return. Gather and organize all of your documents. Make sure to double check that your information is correct. Never guess or estimate. File electronically, and if you're owed a refund, choose direct deposit instead of a paper check.
If you still don't feel ready to file, there's no need to panic. It's not too late to request an extension.
Late filers should never miss the tax day deadline, or they risk penalties and interest from the IRS and their state. Taxpayers can work with a tax professional to file an extension to get 6 more months to file their 2024 tax return. But any taxes owed or a balance due owed must still be paid by tax day.
To learn more last-minute filing tips and to schedule an appointment with a tax pro, visit jacksonhewitt.com. That's jacksonhewitt.com.
Listen, as the date says, tomorrow is the deadline for filing your taxes. So for stay-at-home moms, what does that mean? And how can you file for a refund? We're here to talk about that is Amanda Webster. She is the Chief Revenue Officer of H.E.A.R.T. Amanda, welcome back to the show. We got to talk about some of the common tax credits or maybe the deductions that stay-at-home moms might actually qualify for, even if they do not earn an income outside the home. Is that true?
That's absolutely true, Mitch. We have a huge amount of things in the IRS tax code, right? So if you are a stay-at-home spouse and you want to see what you can do, there's some you should really look at. Child tax credit, earned income tax credit, child dependent care credits, savers credit. Yeah, you can even do the contribution credits that are there, medical expense deductions. It's just a huge list of things that they should definitely be looking at, even if they're not earning a direct income.
Well, how can maybe filing jointly with a spouse help a stay-at-home mom actually maximize those tax benefits?
Well, to be honest, you almost have to file that way unless you have had a household claim in order to qualify for a lot of those credits and deductions. So, in order to do that, you want to be able to file with your spouse to be able to get the best tax rates, the highest deductions, unlock a lot of those credits and deductions that have, basically limits with the filing status, as well as you can leverage your spouse's income to get you higher qualifying on those credits.
And are there maybe, let's say, specific child-related tax breaks, like maybe like the child tax credit or the dependent care credit that stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home parents, should I say, actually be aware of?
Absolutely. You should do your research ahead of time to see what qualifies and what expenses qualify for these types of credits. Like you said, the child tax credit, earned income tax credit, the child independent care credit. There's some medical expense credits using certain accounts for that, like your flexible spending accounts. Those things all have the ability to get you a really great advantage in your tax return. Just do some research ahead of time to see what qualifies you for those and what the limits are.
Can stay-at-home moms maybe take advantage of not only the tax benefits, retirement savings, but maybe even education benefits? And if so, how?
Absolutely. You do not have to be the direct earner to get some of these credits. So lifetime earning credits you can get as the spouse as long as you take those qualifying courses. So just look into seeing what those are. The AOTC credit, as long as you're enrolled half-time in college, you can have that ability to get that. You can actually contribute in an IRA using your spouse's income to be able to get all of that savings and credits there. And the same thing with the Savers credit. You can contribute to an IRA, meet those requirements, and still get that credit even as a stay-at-home mom.
All right, we all know the stay-at-home's mom, they don't get paid what they're worth, that's for sure, but now they can get some tax benefits. More information on tax credits and deductions for stay-at-home moms, just head to our website. It's dailyflashshow.com. Amanda, thank you for joining us. We'll have more right around the corner. This is Daily Flash. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for us to look at those lifestyles of the rich and famous, and we're diving into some celebrity real estate.
Yes, let's do it. We start with The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin. She recently put her Georgetown place on the market for $1.59 million. The 35-year-old purchased the 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhome less than a month before she stepped down from her role in President Trump's first administration. The property features a wood-burning fireplace in the dining room, as well as an eat-in kitchen that opens up to a private patio. The 1,500 square foot home includes 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It features early 20th century era architecture with classic charm and modern luxuries.
Love that. And of course, location.
Yeah,
Such a great place
Georgetown.
to be able to check that out. Actress Selena Gomez, her fiance Benny Blanco, actually could take at least one thing off of their list. After nearly a year on the market, Blanco has sold his bachelor pad in the Big Apple. It was originally listed for $4 million back in May of last year. It was also recently reduced by $1 million, and it sold for about $3 million. A lengthy entryway leads to a living and dining area with very high ceilings. Unit comes with an $1,800 maintenance fee for monthly services. You get a 24-hour doorman as well as some concierge service as well.
It looks beautiful. Yeah. And the famous concrete home in Malibu that Kanye West tore apart is being sold for more than $30 million, less than a week after hitting the market. The property was purchased by a developer who works in Montana. The 4,000 square foot home has quite a history. West spent $57 million for the architectural masterpiece back in 2021. Once the ink was dry, he completely gutted the place before stepping away from the remodel. He eventually took a huge loss, selling it for just $21 million. The new owner started an $8 million renovation in hopes of returning it to its original design.
I wonder about the concrete homes. Obviously, it makes you feel safe, that sort of thing, but I always think of like the moisture and mildew and that sort of thing that kind of like, you ever go down to a basement and it's all concrete surrounded? Dank, is that a good word? Yeah.
Dank, yeah.
I always wonder if like eventually, obviously not when the house is brand new, but eventually it seems like that would come into factor.
If it's treated properly, it's not a problem. And it's one of the only structures that survived the recent fires in Los Angeles.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, it does have its benefits.
All right. We did a little ET moment there just now. I accidentally touched you, which was all caught on camera. Everything's fine. Nothing else happened except the fact that you are welcome to join us for our next show. No, please don't. I got to be back here on tomorrow.